In global politics, there's a rule that we often see. When two countries clash with each other, the impact rarely stays limited to them alone. Neighboring nations also feel the shock. But this time, the situation looks a little different. Because as tensions continue to rise in the Middle East, a third major player now seems to be slowly stepping onto the field. And that player is China. On one side, tensions between Iran and the United States are reaching a peak. On the other side, China has made a move that has raised serious concerns within the Donald Trump administration. At the center of this entire conflict lies one of the most critical maritime routes in the world, the Strait of Hormuz. This is the P passage, through which nearly 20% of the world's oil and gas supply moves every single day. That's why it is often called the energy lifeline of the world. But now the question is, could China's entry make this conflict even bigger? Let's understand what's happening. In the past few days, an incident has emerged that has shaken global strategic calculations. According to reports, a Chinese-owned vessel passed through this highly disputed waterway. This is the same route where Iran recently warned that ships belonging to the United States, Israel, and their allies would not be allowed to pass. But interestingly, China was not mentioned in Iran's warning. Many experts believe this was a deliberate diplomatic gap. And perhaps that is why, shortly afterward, maritime tracking data showed a vessel named Iron Maiden passing through the waterway. According to reports, the ship was broadcasting signals indicating Chinese ownership. This raises an important question. What exactly is happening behind the scenes? According to diplomatic sources, Beijing has quietly started discussions with Iran behind closed doors. The main goal of these talks is simple: to keep energy supplies flowing without disruption. Because China's economy depends heavily on this maritime route. In fact, nearly 45% of China's oil imports pass through the Strait of Hormuz. If this route were to close, it could have a direct impact on China's economy. Meanwhile, as tensions in the region continue to rise, the United States has also increased its naval presence. Reports suggest that the U.S. Navy has now been ordered to provide protection to international commercial vessels. Following this announcement, Donald Trump stated that the United States would ensure the security of global trade routes. But despite these assurances, the situation remains far from normal. Data suggests that around 300 oil and LNG tankers are currently stuck around the Strait of Hormuz. Some ships are waiting at sea, with their anchors dropped, while several shipping companies are now searching for alternative routes. Shipping companies say that for now, only vessels connected to China or Iran are attempting to pass through the strait. In fact, today China is the largest buyer of Iranian oil, purchasing nearly 90% of Iran's oil exports. More than 30% of the total trade between the two countries is based on energy alone. Which means if this maritime route is blocked, China could face the biggest shock. And that may be exactly why Beijing appears so active in this situation. The impact of this crisis is already beginning to show in global markets. Since tensions began rising, crude oil prices have jumped by more than 15%. Several economies have warned that if this crisis continues for long, the world could face a new wave of inflation. Now the biggest question remains: will China's entry change the entire game? If China becomes more actively involved in this conflict, it may no longer remain just a regional dispute. Instead, it could turn into a direct confrontation between the world's major powers. On one side, the United States. On the other, China and Russia. And right in the middle, the world's most sensitive maritime choke point, the Strait of Hormuz. Which means this conflict is no longer just about war. It has become a battle over energy, global trade, and control of the world economy. And in the coming days, the Strait of Hormuz could become one of the most dangerous geopolitical flashpoints on the planet. How do you see this situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay connected for more in-depth geopolitics content. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.